Hey Carol, can we talk? It's about us living together at my parents' place.
Hey Mark, not a good time. I'm headed to an important meeting. I really don't have time for this. Can we talk later? Besides, I thought we already talked about that. We agreed that we wouldn't live with your folks after getting married. You were okay with it. Why now?
Yeah, I know. But I got to thinking, I am the oldest, and also an executive at my father's company. I figured it would be kind of convenient to live with my folks.
How about we make it a weekend-only marriage? We're living at my house right now. We can get back to living like we did before we got married. I live here at my folks' place, you with yours, and we get together on weekends, no problem.
Are you serious? Why even stay married then? If we're married, I want us to live together, not just weekends.
You want me to live with your folks? You do realize I run a company, right? If something happens, my priority is to think of the company first and foremost. I have employees and they have their families to take care of. As for your family, I can help out financially, but I can't look after them at all the time. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know, but if you love me, I want you to, care about them too. I know, maybe I'm being a little unreasonable. It's just that...
Come on, Mark. You know I love you. I wouldn't be marrying you if I didn't. And about your folks, I think highly of them. But my feelings for them and my work are completely different. Besides, both your parents are still working, right? And another thing, your younger brother and his family are living there too. How am I supposed to work full-time and also do household work? It's just not possible right now. Your brother's wife, Mary, will end up having to do most of the work. I'm sure she has her hands full as it is. If I live there and not help with the chores, even though I help out financially, just doesn't sit well with me, you know what I mean?
Don't worry about Marie. She loves to do housework and cook. It's almost like a hobby with her.
Really? Every time I go there, she seems kind of tired out. Didn't seem like she was enjoying any kind of hobby. Another thing I noticed was that your parents are always pretty well dressed, but Mary is always in, I wouldn't say rags, but close to it. Which kind of got me thinking, she's not being bullied in any way, is she?
Are you serious? Of course not! I've been living in the same house as her for 5 years. And I've never witnessed such a thing. How could you even think that?
Yeah, right. Sorry. Of course your folks would never do such thing. They've always seemed kind and considerate.
That's right. And Marie is a bit unusual. She said she has no interest in fashion.
Oh yeah? Anyway, about living there with you guys, that's on hold, okay? If you're so adamant about us living there, I need a pretty good reason or I'm not going to agree, just so you know.
Boy, you really are stubborn.
You should be grateful I'm even considering it.
Alright. I'll figure something out. You need a good reason. I'll find one.
I'm sorry to contact you so late. This is about you guys living with us. Are you still up?
Oh, hi Mary. No problem, what's up? Pretty late. Been working late? Sorry I contacted you earlier out of the blue. I guess you were tired up.
No problem. I was sort of busy with work and household chores. I wanted to contact you earlier.
I see. Are you okay? You're not overworked or anything, are you?
I'm fine. Pretty used to it by now. About you guys living here, Mark said that he wants you to live here with us soon. I really don't think you should go through with it.
Huh? Excuse me? What do you mean? Can you elaborate if you don't mind?
I'll explain, but could you not tell Mark that I talked to you about this? I'd appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Besides, I contacted you without Mark's knowledge anyway.
I came to this house about 5 years ago, as you probably know. Ever since then, I've been working non-stop, no days off at all, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I came here with a reasonable amount of savings, but that's all gone, and I'm running the company all by myself. When I first arrived, the company was in the red for quite some time. They were barely making payments every month and was on the verge of bankruptcy. And as for the household chores and cooking, I'm responsible for all of it. Everyone in this family, even my husband, they don't help out at all. I'm just a slave to them.
Whoa! Hold it right there, Mary. Are you serious? Is that why you're always wearing those clothes? I heard that you were just not interested in fashion.
I just don't have the money to buy any nice clothes. That's why. I've been wearing the same clothes for the last 5 years. I couldn't afford to buy anything new ever since I arrived here. But the other family members seem to be indulging themselves. I'm sure you've noticed.
That's no environment to be in. I urge you to get out right now. I know, let me talk to Mark about this. He'll know what to do.
There is no escape. I'm stuck here. There's nobody out there that will help me. I'm a slave for life. As for Mark, he's seen the predicament I'm in. After all, we've been living under the same roof for 5 years. He's well aware of my situation. He's part of this family.
That can't be right. Mark is not like that. He's a bit timid, but he's kind and considerate. And about me living there with them, I figured his mom was nagging him about it.
That's all a front. Mark is only acting kind and considerate. You may not believe me, but
What is it?
I heard that you lost your parents a while back. They find people in situations like yours, create an environment where you have nowhere else to go, and entrap you and use you as they please. That's what they did to me, and they succeeded for 5 years, so they figured they needed another slave. Actually, I heard them talking about it. And you also own your own company. I'm sure that once you move in with them, they take everything, rob you blind.
But you still have a chance. I urge you to cut all ties. Get away from these people as soon as possible.
I'll be okay. I've given up any hope of escape.
No, you can't be serious. I can't leave you there all alone. Let's escape together.
That's good and all, but there is nowhere else to escape to. Even if you go to the police, they will do nothing. They'll just say it's a family matter and nothing will be done.
Well, in that case, I help you escape.
Huh? Seriously?
If you had not confided in me, I would have moved in with you. You saved me from grief. Now it's my turn to save you. Even if I didn't end up living with him, they may have found a way to rip me off. I'm sure of it. You were there for 5 long years. Thanks for warning me about them. So don't worry, Mary. You're in luck. I'm on your side, and we'll figure out how to get out of this awful mess.
Carol, are you being straight with me? Do you really believe what I'm telling you?
I always thought it was sort of strange. I don't know how to pout this, but you just seemed so out of place there. When I ask Mark, he never really gives me a straight answer. And the fact that he keeps breaking his promise and insisting that we all live under one roof, I started to get suspicious. So when you told me about this, I was actually not all surprised. Besides, if I don't believe you, how am I supposed to rescue you, right?
I have a confession to make, Carol. I was thinking that if you did eventually move in, my life would become a bit easier. That they would focus on you, and it would ease my pain. I'm sorry.
Then why didn't you tell me the truth? Why did you warn me?
Well, when you came to the house those few times, you were so kind to me. Nobody has ever been so kind to me for so long. I was just so happy that someone out there cared for me. That's when I realized that nobody else should endure such pain, that this should end with me.
You're a strong and intelligent woman, that's for sure. I want you to pay back for telling me the truth about them. I'm going to get you out of there. I guess we are not very good at picking guys, but we are way better than those people. Let's put our heads together and give them a taste of their own medicine. What you say?
Hey, Carol, it's you, isn't it? I know it's you. You're protecting Marie, am I right?
Protecting Mary? What are you talking about?
Don't act like you don't know. Marie is nowhere to be found. Everyone at home is frantically looking for her. You're harboring her. I know you are. Marie has no close family and no close friends. You're the only one that she would go to. Oh yeah, and you changed the keys on your house. Now why would you do that? My keys no longer work. I couldn't get in last night. I had to stay over at my folks' place. You're the only one she would go to. That's ample proof you have her. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. And that means you know perfectly well why I'm protecting her. I almost fell for your dirty trick, Mark.
Dirty trick? What are you talking about? It's you that's being tricked, Carol. Don't you realize that? Marie is mentally deranged. She's had mental problems ever since she arrived 5 years ago. Don't go believing everything she says. She's making all of it up.
That's my decision whether I believe her or not. I had no intention of relying on your financial support, so I had no interest about how your family company was doing. But it looks like the company is not doing very well. But when I met you at the business party last year, you were all decked out in an expensive suit, and that Rolex, how much did that cost? You bought all that with money borrowed through Mary's name? Is that true? You're really pathetic, Mark. I wasn't smart either, coned by the likes of you.
I bought that suit myself, and I've had that watch for ages.
Then why is Mary always dressed in complete rags? Can you answer that? She says she's just like any other woman. She loves fashion and even wants to go to a hairstylist one of these days. Why did you lie about all that? You even said that house chores was her hobby. Were you serious?
So you're going to believe someone like Marie, who you hardly even know, and not me, your husband? You've completely lost your marbles, Carol!
Lost my marbles? It's your family that's crazy. You approached me knowing full well that I had no family, my parents passed years ago, and that I owned my own company, The Perfect Pre. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. I may not have a family, but I have plenty of friends and employees that respect me and would do anything for me. You picked on the wrong person, buddy. Oh, by the way, our marriage is over. I filed for divorce today.
Well, so be it! You turned out to be just another no-good bimbo with money! It was a big mistake marrying you anyway. I'm glad I can get rid of you. And thanks for getting rid of the debt-ridden little floozy you're harboring. Saved us the trouble of getting rid of her. We're already planning to find another perfect woman for our needs. We don't need a couple of losers. Marie's served her purpose. Good riddance to her. But I expect something in return, that I get my share of your assets. I have the right to all the savings in your account. We were married after all.
A wolf is sheep's clothing, finally revealing your fangs. Oh, and about Mary, I'm going to demand that you pay her compensation for all the years that you guys abused her. My lawyers are working on the details, so be on the lookout for that. As for our joint account, well, that was like for 2 months or so, not much there, so do as you like. Most of it will probably be gone by the time you pay of Mary.
Why do I even have to pay compensation to her? She's not my wife!
You said it yourself, Mark. You said she was mentally unstable. So I had a psychiatrist examine her, and it seems she was affected by all the abuse your family reaped on her. Mentally, she's sound, but emotionally, that's another story. I have a full report from the doctor that examined her. To make a long story short, she's suing you and your family for emotional distress. Did you know that you can get compensation for stuff like that? I had no idea.
There's no proof that we caused her to become emotionally unstable!
Why do you think I'm divorcing you? You really think I didn't do a little preparation before deciding to divorce you? I had Mary record as much conversation as she could while she was at your house. When we deemed it etiquette, I got her out of there and over to my place. Bet you had no idea. I heard all the recordings, and there was plenty there. Your family talking about me and how you guys were going to rob me blind and enslave me. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys even saw some jail time. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I'm going to have a friend at a major magazine to publish all this, so this never happens again. And I really wouldn't do anything stupid going forward.
Excuse me? Are you out of your frigging mind? Magazine? What magazine would write about some boring family? You make us sound like the Manson family or something.
Do you really run a company, Mark? You really should keep up with the times. Magazines are hand up for stories. Their sales have dropped. Everyone is reading stuff online. Most major magazines will write a story if we pay them enough. We could spruce it up any way we want. Give it a title like, let's see, I was a slave for 5 years or something like that. Or maybe The Evil Family. That would draw plenty of readers.
You're really going to go that far, huh? But I know you. You won't do anything. You'll just end up hurting your own business. That's what you're most concerned about anyway.
Oh, I will go through with it. You can count on it. As a matter of fact, I really met with the chief editor. If I can help more girls, it's money well spent. The whole world will probably not even hear about it, but if enough people in the community read about it, well, you can imagine the backlash, I'm sure. Long as people in the neighborhood read about it, I'm fine with that.
Do you get a kick out of making me and my family suffer? I didn't think you were such a despicable person, Carol. You know what? I really feel sorry for you.
Please don't give me that. Playing the victim now? After all those years of treating Mary like a slave, stealing all her money, I've always believed I was an honorable person. If someone threatens me, I threaten them right back. If someone gives me respect, I respect them back. That's all I have to say to you, Mark.
Come on, Carol. It's not if I treated Marie that way because I wanted to. My folks made me do it. I had no way to refuse. You know how they are.
I'm glad that there's even a tiny bit of remorse left in you.
Does that mean you're going to forgive me? Let's start over. What do you say?
Sorry, that's not gonna fly. After the divorce goes through, show me that you're really sorry and do the right thing. If you really love me as you say, you wouldn't have a problem. First off, about Mary, a lawyer drew up all the papers and her divorce went through without a hitch. The recordings certainly helped. And with all the evidence, she was able to get a fair amount of compensation for the years of abuse she endured. Mark was able to get half of our savings account and few joint assets, and with all that money the family paid Mary her due. I doubt there was much left for Mark. Mary continued with her meeting with her doctor and gradually seemed to be recovering from her emotional trauma. Currently, she's staying with me and I told her she should just relax, but she insisted on helping me around the house. She even helped me with my business. I can never forgive that family for abusing and traumatizing such a kind and considerate woman like Mary. The ordeal with Mark's family made it into the magazine and they were the talk of the town, in a totally negative way, of course. It seems the company went bankrupt and their house was foreclosed. That magazine article really tore the family apart, it seems. I heard that they all went their separate ways. They've always relied on each other for survival, and now the family is no more. I wonder how they will survive. I'm pretty certain they're not leading such a joyous life. Some other family is living there right now. As for all the family members, they sort of disappeared into the night, kind of fighting for them. As for Mary and I, we're currently living together and to be honest, really enjoying ourselves. This house my folks left me is way too big for me alone. Anyway, it's as if I inherited a young sister. For a while, I was a bit depressed, figured I was just not fit for marriage. But I was able to rescue Mary because I was married to Mark. That's something, isn't it?
Hey, Tim. Please, enough already.
What are you on about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Why'd you tell the entire class that I'm not planning on going to college? Almost everyone at our school is gonna go on to college, so I asked you to keep it quiet. But today, everyone in class was talking about it.
It's not that you don't plan on going to college, it's that you can't go on to college, right? We all know that your family is too poor to be able to afford college tuition.
That's got nothing to do with any of you. Anyway, don't just go around telling people about my private matters.
Parents who are too poor to even send their kid to college shouldn't have kids in the first place. Talk about having no foresight. It's families like yours who can't make enough money on their own and then go crying to the government for support. And then it's up to families like mine who pay all these insane taxes to end up footing your bill. We always end up having to clean up your messes and get you out of situations you got yourselves into.
You're going too far with that. It's not like my family was always poor. My dad died 8 years ago, and my brother got really sick around 5 years ago. His hospital bills ended up costing us an arm and a leg. A lot of things happened, okay? Sure, now my family isn't as well off as most others, especially our classmates, but that doesn't mean you can just go around talking like that.
This isn't the Misfortune Olympics. You don't need to start talking about all that. Poor people sure like to do that, don't they? Are you hoping people who hear that will feel some sympathy for you? The world isn't as kind as you think.
That's not what I'm trying to do. But you're making fun of my parents, saying that they have no foresight or don't know how to plan ahead. Of course I can't just let that rest.
Yeah, whatever. Say what you like. It doesn't matter what you say or what excuses you try to make. Everyone knows how poor your family is. Oh, and I also told everyone that your family is sending you off to work at one of your relatives' companies too. You know, because why not?
They're not sending me off anywhere. I just got a normal job there like anywhere else. Stop spreading lies and rumors. You keep doing that even about small things like my clothes. I heard you told people that I never washed my uniform and just wear it as if every day.
That's because your uniform is dirty and gross. Ugh, I guess poor people don't even wash their clothes. Am I wrong?
Of course I wash them! My clothes are just a little old because I got them from an older student who didn't need them anymore.
Oh, so you wear other people's hand-me-downs? That's even worse! Ugh, I'd literally rather die than have to wear something like that. Imagine having to wear clothes stained with other people's sweat. That's gross.
Then you sent a photo of me covered in grass in the schoolyard to the class group chat. Not only that, you told everyone that I was taking the grass home to eat it for dinner. Since then, people keep leaving grass and weeds on my desk at school.
That's just everyone showing their kindness. Aren't you lucky? Now you won't have to worry about having enough to eat for dinner.
Stop messing around. Seriously, just enough already. I haven't done anything to you. Just leave me alone. If you keep it up, I'll have to tell the teachers.
I guess this is where we part ways, huh? Kinda sad, really.
I couldn't be happier.
Oh, come on! What, are you angry just because I teased you a little? You really need to learn to take a joke.
Because of you, I had a terrible time in high school. How many times did you make fun of me for being poor?
That happens all the time. A lot of people joke about that. It's nothing personal. It's true anyway. It's not like I made it up.
Anyway, I don't want anything more to do with you.
In that case, you can relax. It's not like there will be any reason for us to meet again anyway. You're off to work at some small-time company that could fail at any second. And I'm going to a famous private university, And after I graduate, it's a well-established company and a straight road to becoming a big shot for me. Good luck with your miserable life.
You have no idea how my life is gonna turn out. I'm gonna work hard and have a better, happier life than you.
You're really an idiot, aren't you? What matters is your education and connections, not hard work. And the two of us are from completely different worlds. There's no chance our paths will cross again from here on. We'll never have to see each other again.
I hope so. No, I'm praying for it.
Hey! It's been a while since we saw each other. What, has it been since we graduated high school? You've really surprised me. You took one look at my face and seemed lost for words.
I was. I never expected to meet you there. Sorry if I was rude before. I was in a hurry, so I couldn't stay and talk.
Did you end up getting a late entrance into college or anything after we last met? So you're really just out here with a high school diploma. Man, poor people really are stupid. There are other ways of getting into college, right? Like deferred pathways or even community college programs. You should have thought about taking one of those options to help you escape from the lower classes.
I mean, I guess I could have done that.
And what were you wearing earlier anyway? Worn out work clothes that look like they were covered in paint? You look even more ragged than you used to. Seeing you like that reminded me of the gross uniform you used to wear in high school. You were always wearing such dirty clothes.
There's a reason I was wearing those clothes. But what about you? Did you become a big shot yet like you said you would?
Of course I did. Or close enough. Tomorrow's my first day of my new job at a great company. And what do? Are you homeless or something? If that's the case, you want me to lend you some money?
Starting a new job? You're coming to my company.
Wait, what?
I've been so busy I completely forgot. I remember HR telling me that you were hired. I took a look at your CV.
Wait, what? What are you on about? Did you lose your mind in the years since we last met? If you're the CEO, why are you wearing those clothes?
That's because I was on my way back from helping do some painting at a nearby orphanage.
Painting? Why would you be doing that?
My company has a lot of different initiatives in the company to help kids from poor families and those with no place to go. Painting and helping with artwork is one of them. The point is to give the kids an opportunity to experience art and help them cultivate their imaginations. Today we had an event where a lot of investors volunteered to help out, so of course I also joined in. All of us helped the kids paint a massive picture of a dinosaur. It was pretty fun. My clothes did get completely covered in paint though.
So what, your company is trying to give back to society? What's the point of that?
Look, Tim. The company that you're gonna start working at tomorrow is managed by me.
There's just no way that's true. After high school, you were just going off to work at some small-time business. And now you're trying to tell me that you're a CEO?
I worked hard at that so-called small-time business. And now it has grown to be the company that you start at tomorrow.
Get real! I know that's not true. First of all, the name of the company is completely different from the one you went to work at.
After my uncle retired and appointed me the CEO, I changed the name of the company. My uncle didn't have any kids of his own, so he decided to pass the company on to me. At that time, the performance of the company was improving, so I decided to also expand the scope of what we do and completely rehaul the name and appearance of the office too. So along with that, I changed the name to give the company a new start, so to speak. But if you applied for this job, you should have seen the website. The CEO's name is clearly written there. You didn't realize? I thought you saw my name, so I decided to apply here.
Of course I saw the website, but your last name isn't the same as it was in high school.
Oh, that's right. My mom got remarried, so my last name changed because of that. But even so, if you went through the site, my photo should have come up at some point. I guess you didn't really look into the company too much. Usually an applicant tries to find out as much as they can about the job they're applying for. But whatever. HR said that they will hire you, so that's that.
You weren't the one who processed my application then?
The company has gotten too big for me to look over every applicant personally. I mostly leave that up to HR now. Of course, once they've chosen a candidate, I still look into them myself. By the way, I heard a lot about you from HR. They said that you studied abroad in France for 2 years during college? And so now you can speak French too. That's amazing! They also said that you entered graduate school. And after completing your master's in business, went on to be a project manager at a pretty big company. Also, that at your previous company, you were so popular with all the female employees that you could barely get along with all the men. You told me all about it.
That was all stuff that I talked about in my interview. So, are you really the CEO there?
That's what I've been saying this whole time. I'm not gonna make up some pointless lie like that. And I'm always happy when someone with a good record joins a company. But there's one thing that I'm a little worried about. Extending a helping hand to help people in need is my motto. And the company also follows that ideal. I'm wondering if someone like you who looks down on the poor and helpless will really be an asset to this company or not. In any case, from tomorrow you have a 3-month trial period. So I'll be keeping an eye on your performance. Then I'll judge what happens from there. Hey, what's up? Are you still there?
Oh yes, I'm still here, sir.
What's up with the formality all of a sudden? Anyway, as I said before, that's what we'll do starting tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow then. Hey Tim, I need to talk to you about something. I've asked some of the other employees about how you're doing at the moment. And what they say isn't so good. Does anything come to mind?
I'm not really sure.
That's a pretty vague answer. This is what I've heard from them. You make a lot of obvious mistakes when preparing documents. You fail to be polite to clients and end up angering them in meetings. Then they also said that you've been copying data onto a personal USB. This is pretty different from what your CV said about you, and what you said in the interview.
That's just all a coincidence. I mean, I only just started, so I'm bound to make some mistakes, right?
You've also been going around boasting that you and I were classmates back in high school. And I went out of my way to hire you as soon as I could. So, you did apply here knowing that I was the CEO, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Apart from that, people said that you can't actually speak French, and a bunch of other things that seemed off. So I had to look into your past a little more closely.
What? What do you mean by that?
Well, I happen to know the CEO of the company you used to work at. So I asked him about how you would work and for him to get the opinion on your former co-workers. And that's where it all came to light. They said you were lying constantly and would always blame your own mistakes on other people. Everyone hated you for it. I also heard that you had a pretty big gambling debt, to the point where even the company got contacted about it. Everything I heard, there was nothing good.
That's all completely made up. Everyone at the last place I worked at were just jealous of my genius and wanted me to fail.
But even what you said in the interview at my company is exactly the same as what you told them at the previous place. That you were a graduate and studied abroad for 2 years. The timeline on that doesn't make any sense. The story about studying abroad was also completely made up. Then because of your habit of lying, you messed up a lot of relationships with that company's clients. A bunch of them canceled contracts and the company was in the red for a huge amount because of you. And the reason you ended up getting let go is because of your gambling problem. Did you know that lying about your education and work history counts as a crime? It's only a misdemeanor, but a crime nonetheless. Did you think that a company that is lied to like that would just let it slide? I can tell you now that my company isn't gonna do that.
Wait, please. That's not what happened. This is all just a misunderstanding. You know, just a mix-up in communication.
Lying isn't unusual for you. I know you from high school. You used to lie about things all the time back then, too. Some of your managers have also been telling you to fix up your appearance and get a new bag and shoes. But you seem to not listen to them at all. You used to always say how rich your family is. Was that a lie, too? Looking at how you present yourself now, I can't really believe that was ever the case.
That's not a lie! That at least isn't a lie.
Even now, you keep up the lies, huh? I already know. I spoke to your mother on the phone.
What? Why would you call my mom?
You needed to give over an emergency contact detail when you signed a contract with us, right? Since you put down your parents' number, I figured I'd give them a call. Your mother picked up and we spoke for a while. You were always bragging about how rich your family was back at school. But it turns out you are a completely normal middle-class family. Your mom said no one in your family has ever made enough to be called a high-income earner or upper class or anything of the like. And now it's up to your parents to pay off your gambling debt. They said they're really struggling.
Damn, my mom. Why'd you have to go tell you so many unnecessary things?
Anyway, that's not really important. You've only been with us for a few days, but have already had a harmful effect on the company and the other employees too. On top of that, you lied about your education and work history. So with that in mind, and seeing that you're still on the trial period, I've decided to terminate your contract at the end of the 3 months. We won't be giving you a full-time position.
You can't do that! I signed a contract!
That was a contract that you signed, one for a 3-month trial period. Did you not read the contract?
Give me another chance. Come on. Please. I mean, we're friends from school.
In high school, you constantly made fun of me. Despite that, in good faith, I hired you and decided to just see how it went. Isn't that a better chance than you could really ask for? There isn't a second.
Please! I'm still up to my ears in debt! If I don't have a job, I can't pay it back! The debt collectors will probably start coming by the house again too!
I'm not happy it has to end like this. But your habit of lying will most likely cause damage to my company's reputation with clients. That's what happened at the last place you worked at, after all. Sometimes, in order to minimize risk, it's necessary to make harsh decisions. Sorry, but that's what it means to be a manager.
It's not like I was a liar from the very beginning. I used to just joke about lots of things. I never meant them seriously. But in middle school, I made a joke about my family being really rich and everyone made a big fuss. That made me feel kind of good. And before I knew it, lying was a habit and I did it more and more. I did it to try and get better in this world.
Both my family and yours. They weren't rich, but that's just how it is. There's nothing wrong with that. But to lie and deceive people, that's wrong. And to purposefully go out of your way to hurt people's feelings is even worse.
Look, I'm sorry for what I did and said in school. I recognize that you've become successful. You've become someone really amazing. Remember what you said to me? That you would work hard and have a better life than me? You did it! You showed me!
There's no use now for empty flattery. It's too late for that.
What'd you say? Okay, so you worked hard and became a CEO. So what? You think you can look down on me now? Don't get so cocky.
Now you're just gonna snap back, huh? I guess lying isn't your only bad trait.
Why did this happen? How could this happen? You were poorer than me. How did you end up becoming more successful?
That's because I refused to let my environment and circumstances affect me, and gave it my all without any regrets. And while I was working hard and doing all I could, you just lazed around. That's where the difference is. You said that our paths would never cross again, and that we'd never see each other's faces again. This time, I sincerely hope that will be the case. When the trial period ended, Tim packed his things and left the office moping. But he didn't stop lying until the very end of his time at my company. He even kept telling some of the other employees that I was jealous of his abilities and was doing everything I could to make him look bad in front of others. Needless to say, there wasn't a single person who believed him. At this point, Tim's lying seems almost pathological. I don't think it's something that can be fixed that easily. As I expected, Tim kept falsifying his education and work experience and continued to look for a job. But as it happens, word spreads fast, and Tim became somewhat infamous in the industry. In the end, there wasn't a single company that was willing to hire him. The debt collectors appeared for him again, and to get away from the debt, he seems to have run far away and disappeared. After that, I don't have the slightest idea about what happened to him. As for my company, it has kept growing and growing. We have also kept up with initiatives to give back to society and help those in need. I was lucky enough to get this opportunity, thanks to my uncle. And I plan to use it to help as many disadvantaged children as I can.